Have you ever considered how we acquire the skills of writing? Do you remember when you first began experimenting with written language? Please join me, Emma Dempsey, on a journey while we explore the processes and strategies that help students to acquire writing skills in today's classrooms.
Writing has been embedded in human society from as early as 3000 BC. Contextual to the purpose, language, audience and community for which it is used, the process of writing and learning to write is a complex one that begins well before most children enter primary school. Children's drawings and scribblings, their early experiences with books, their home and social environments all help to develop their understanding that writing is used for many purposes. Defined by Marie Clay as the recurring principle, children's drawings in this beginning stage of writing often contain lines, shapes, dots and circles that represent units which they arrange and segment in a linear fashion, often from left to right. Demonstrating their understanding that writing has a symbolic purpose, these early drawings are children's attempts to express themselves through the use of symbols. Peronick and Lonergan emphasized that learning to write requires understanding of the symbolic nature of written language as well as knowledge of the specific writing conventions for a particular language. Therefore, these early writing attempts are crucial to children's writing skill development. Writing development involves building knowledge and understanding at each stage of writing using a balanced approach to teaching. Current practices have been informed by instructional methods of the past, evidence-based research and theories of how children learn. Focusing student attention on making meaning and the communicative effect of writing, effective teachers of writing know the different stages that students move through when developing writing skills, and they understand the disparity that can exist between these skills, so they organise activities which scaffold student learning across each element of writing. Defined by the Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority as text knowledge, grammar knowledge, word knowledge and visual knowledge, instruction is purposeful, explicit and specific to the elements students are learning. Writing has become an authentic experience where students become immersed in the process of writing for a purpose. Learning is collaborative and integrated across the curriculum, and writing tasks have real-world application. Students develop the understanding that writing is contextual, specific to the text type, subject area and audience for whom it is written, so therefore these elements influence the choice of language, the structure, the tone and the approach to writing. Following constructivist principles of learning, teachers appreciate the knowledge and diversities that students bring to the classroom, so they build on students' prior learning using authentic writing opportunities. While ability in handwriting, spelling and later cursive writing has been identified as important in supporting well-structured written text and fluency, teachers no longer focus on these skills independently but build them into their overall instruction. Learning activities are defined by the stage of writing development, and teachers use mentor texts across the genres and strategies such as familiarising, analysing, modelling, sharing, guiding and applying to scaffold student learning. Regardless of the model used for writing development, each stage of progression remains consistent and can be compared to that of reading. According to Tompkins et al., research shows that integrated instruction helps to improve both reading and writing. Research also shows that students who develop good reading skills usually develop strong writing skills and vice versa, so it is important students understand the relationship between the two. Early or beginning writers need to build knowledge of all elements of writing, including its purpose and uses, handwriting, text directions, spelling and sight words, the basic organisational structures of writing, as well as all the cueing systems, which include the phonological, syntax, semantic, pragmatic and paralinguistic systems. A balanced approach using specific activities which examine each element using mental picture books and stories, discussion, alphabet coding activities, language experience activities, modelled, guided and interactive writing and independent practice can gradually introduce strategies required for writing success. Students must also understand the writing process of pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing and publishing. Effective activities include modelling, joint construction, independent construction and writing workshops. They are also useful in demonstrating that these processes merge and reoccur throughout writing. Kennedy et al. Note that students require a large array of sight words and automatic phoneme and grapheme knowledge if they are to immerse themselves in the process and communicative aspect of writing. This is because writing ability and working memory can be affected without the strategies to overcome these mechanics of writing. Using invented spelling and the knowledge that any grammatical, spelling or punctuation issues can be resolved during the editing process is such a strategy. Focus on more specific application of language, such as the use of emotive language, homophones, antonyms and synonyms, and more advanced sentence structure and grammar is also appropriate at this stage. As skills develop, students should also be exposed to other processes associated with writing. This includes activating background knowledge, determining importance, drawing inferences, making connections, monitoring, predicting, questioning, editing to communicate meaning more effectively, setting a purpose, summarizing and visualizing. It is also important that students at all stages are provided daily opportunities to practice their writing skills for a variety of purposes across all texts, including multimodal texts. In order to be able to design appropriate learning activities, effective teachers of writing and literacy use a number of strategies. Diagnostic assessment may be used in the first instance and to collect data at points throughout the year in order to compare and monitor student progress. This could include analysis of student writing samples using a writing pro forma checklist, rating scales and rubrics. Ongoing formative assessment is another valuable tool to help guide instruction. Formative assessment provides insight into where students are at with regard to their learning. It can help to identify strengths and weaknesses and also draw attention to the areas where students are struggling. One of the most effective formative assessment tools is conferring with students. Discussing students' drawings and written work helps teachers to gain insight into a child's ability, determine student belief about their ability, and also provides time for individual feedback and guided instruction. Observation, whether incidental or planned, and anecdotal records are also important tools for assessing writing. Using these, teachers can interpret behaviours, assess individual attitude, understandings, interest and participation, and determine the strategies students use when writing. Assessment across the writing genres is also important so that teachers can determine student ability to be able to contextualise their writing. Effective assessment is contextually authentic. Students should be acquainted with the language and the exercise, and they should be required to construct their own response or interpretation to the task. Effective assessment strategies help teachers to identify learning needs so that they can implement instructional strategies that meet the learning needs of all their students and meet learning objectives. Effective teachers of writing integrate instruction using authentic learning tools which challenge students at their zone of proximal development. Mentor text can be an especially effective tool as teachers can quickly acquaint students with the text and use it for an entire unit of work. Reading the text aloud and then revisiting it from the viewpoint of a writer provides an array of opportunities to examine the author's craft. Students can begin to examine what authors do to make meaning, the words they choose and how they use them, the structure of the text, the plot development, the purpose and the text type, and apply what they are learning to their own writing. Teachers can use mini lessons to focus student attention on unfamiliar words, to build student vocabulary and word charts, look at prepositional use, cueing systems, and facilitate class discussion that connects student experiences to themes, ideas, and characters in order to demonstrate the author's ability to engage the audience emotionally with their text. Activities in the younger years might have teachers perform modelled, shared or interactive writing lessons before asking students to create their own sentences using any number of sight words while also being encouraged to sound out unfamiliar words and to use new words. The class could participate in a joint construction as a valuable scaffolding exercise as the teacher models the process of writing a text but also demonstrates the product that the students will eventually write themselves. It also helps them to make connections between the construction of ideas and producing them in writing. Integrating writing across the curriculum offers many opportunities for enhancing writing skills. Upper primary students could use a theme from a science learning area and specific non-fiction text to build awareness of contextualised writing. Mini lessons and interactive writing could focus student attention on content-specific language and text structure and also model useful strategies for each stage of the writing process. Students might read and collect samples of different texts and analyse them through think alouds and joint text deconstruction activities, and students could participate in quick writing exercises in order to develop their writing fluency. Having students writing quickly without stopping as they explore their topics is an effective way to develop student ideas and the words needed to express them. It also demonstrates to students the effectiveness of initially writing for ideas rather than for correctness. Students could then work in small groups while the teacher conducts guided reading exercises or conferences with students. Within their groups, students are provided time to discuss, reflect on and question their writing and that of their peers. Creating a community of writers who encourage writing attempts, share strategies and assist each other to develop clarity in their writing can help to motivate students, build their confidence and skills in all areas of writing. It also allows students time to share their writing with others. Writing for an audience adds more purpose and meaning to writing, and students experience how others respond to their writing. Integrated writing across the curriculum provides students opportunities to write for a variety of purposes across a variety of contexts while providing added opportunity for student engagement and learning. The writing process is a complex one that needs specific and explicit instruction from the moment students enter primary school. Teachers need to utilise student prior knowledge and experience across the literacy strands and build skills gradually using listening, reading and writing activities in a highly engaging, language-rich and authentic task-orientated environment. Modelled, guided, interactive, shared and independent activities across a range of contexts are essential, and students should be provided daily opportunities to experience and practice writing. Delivering lessons which effectively scaffold student writing skills requires teachers' understanding of the different stages of writing development, effective strategies to appropriately assess student ability, and knowledge of how to effectively teach writing strategies and skills across all literacy and curriculum strands.